So what is the difference between prompt, context, and hardness engineering? If you tell me that you're a little bit confused because all of this terminology is popping up very fast pretty much every year, I'm not gonna blame you. I think I was pretty much in the same boat. But let me make it super easy for you to understand what the differences are and actually how you can utilize this knowledge within your project. So we're going to start with prompt engineering, and this really became popular in 2022 to 2024, and this is something that was very popular when we were working with one single LLM, or let's say with one single AI agents. And the core idea is simple. You give a better input to the model and you get a better output. So we're optimizing for the words and structure of what we send to the model, right? So we had our system prompt here, and then what you would send the user is the user prompt, right? UNS. And we were trying to optimize the system prompt here. So we would say things like act as a senior backend engineer, or we would make sure that we have a chain of thought. We would make sure that we give some examples before our user prompt. So the examples would probably end up as the user input as well. And we would specify the output format. Let's say we would like to say return in JSON. So we would actually specify this in the user request as well. And the bad prompt would be something like this. And obviously a good prompt would be something like this. So you remember that these were all the suggestions that we had to take care of a couple of years ago. And interesting thing is that if you look at this graph, the context engineering is actually built up on prompt engineering. So it's not to say that prompt engineering is irrelevant now. No, actually for good context engineering, we need prompt engineering. And for good hardness engineering, we need obviously context engineering. Now, what is context engineering? And this became popular by Andrej Karpathy, I believe, last year. So in 2025, not 2025. So what is the idea? The context engineering is the practice of managing what information goes into the AI model's context window, right? We need to manage this context. So which files, which documents or data model can see. So we're talking about RAG. So we're talking about RAG, for example, linking our AI agents to some databases, right? We're managing the memory. We are managing which files, which schemas, which tool definitions, meaning MCP actually became popular in 2025. And we are also avoiding the context rot, meaning if we have too much context, then we can actually compress the context, and then we are avoiding really big context windows. And now we're coming to something called hardness engineering. So hardness engineering actually encompasses these two ideas all together, but it gives it a bit of a bigger context. So let me explain what I mean. So hardness engineering applies wherever you have autonomous agent that needs to operate reliably across multiple steps. So for example, just focus on this part for a moment. I'm gonna explain it thoroughly. So you can have hardness engineering in customer support automation. For example, triage, managing responses, escalating, and logging, and all of that automated, okay? This is a keyword, automated. Software development, maybe some kind of an automated CI/CD pipeline, like detecting a bug. SRE tools such as Sentry, they can detect the bug. They can actually propose the fix already. They can also trigger a running test within your pipeline, but maybe you can do it in a custom way. And of course, automatic PRs within GitHub. This would also be hardness engineering. And if we look at something like Codex and something like, I actually have Cloud Code also running, these are actually harnesses, right? This is pretty much an ecosystem that can have routines, that can help you connect to MCP, that lets you upload your own skills and so on. And Stripe also had this thing where they shipped 1,300 AI PRs a week. This is insane. And I think the keyword here is that full pull requests reviewed, merged, and deployed. That is number only possible because Stripe isn't just using AI assistants. And now they're building infrastructure around AI coding agents. So this infrastructure around AI coding agents is indeed the hardness engineering, okay? So you build this infrastructure so that coding agents. In this case, if we go to our graph, in this case, this is what Stripe had, AI agents. Another word for this would be multi-agent orchestration. Okay, if you're building multi-agent orchestration, if you have such a design pattern, then it is indeed harness engineering as well. So you can apply harness engineering not only in software development, but you can also apply it in customer support or simply in AI agents. So harness engineering, this word does not mean that it's living in your IDE. It also doesn't mean that it's living in your code cloud. It means that whatever infrastructure you built around your agents and you maximize this automation with the help of the MCP tools, with the help of the data, with the help of different triggers, this indeed is your harness engineering. And of course, your job is to optimize it. I found this repository from Reddit. Somebody actually referenced it. But what they're doing is they are using Claude, and they have a specific skill here called harness. And the harness basically consists of different Python scripts that are eventually going to reference this other harness folder. Okay, so in a way, there's no official way of creating a harness within Claude Code, but you can create a skill or a workflow that then is going to use this harness. Okay, so you get the idea. So let's take a look at this example. So you want to build a system that detects the bug from error tracker like Sentry. Okay, it automatically retrieves the right files. So this is something Claude Code can do. Spins up a generator agent to write the fix. Runs a separate evaluator agent for the tests. If the test fails, do this, otherwise do that, and it then will log. We create the PR, and as you can see, you're no longer writing prompts, so this whole thing is done automatically. You're simply building the infrastructure. And this is pretty much it. If you like the video, if you learned something, don't forget to smash like, subscribe for more interesting videos like this. Actually, check out my playlist on AI for software developers. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye.